Hey, I'm Otis Jr., and you're watching 50 Tunes Live, WFPK's new series highlighting the vibrant music scene here in Louisville, Kentucky. Every episode will feature a different artist that helps to create the unique sound that is Louisville. Today, joined by Andrew Montana, who's got a unique knack for storytelling. We're going to learn more about what he's been up to and what he's got coming up next. Without further ado, Andrew Montana.
Dress, nail polish, something I found in college. All gumption, no panic, postmodern, so satanic. Well, I saw it in her eyes, she tried to warn me. Started with a drop and now it's pouring. She said, I wanna see you in the morning. I don't wanna be alone, it's boring. I'll bake you strawberry pie. Clean the blood and never ask why. I'll be your alibi. Hide the bodies, change your hair dye. Your tongue down whiskey, we'll hide out in the country. I'll keep you, you menace, so baby, let me finish. Oh, saw it in her eyes, she tried to warn me. It started with a drop and now it's pouring. She said, I wanna see you in the morning. I don't wanna be alone, it's boring. I'll bake you strawberry pie. Clean the blood and never ask why. I'll be your alibi. Hide the bodies, change your hair dye. Getting by on cheap Bordeaux on cigarettes and blow. Getting high and letting go. I figure it's a no, but I'll let you know. No. I'll bake you strawberry pie. Clean the blood and never ask why. I'll be your alibi. Hide the bodies, change your hair dye. I let the door shut, startle the deer, and get a little bit drunk, check my eyes in the mirror, watch the sunlight on the river, the red buds move and shiver, the dew falls like a tear. I pull the blind shut, cover the light, I close the curtains tight, try to shutter the night, as if I had my way about it, you never have to doubt it, my love is clear and bright. Walk along the creek, sit up on Dog Hill. If I can keep you in my life, then honey, I will. Kiss you in the fog, you say so sweetly. I'm so glad you made it here and you could meet me. Meet me, meet me up on Dog Hill in the summer. Meet me up on Dog Hill in the summer. I close the side gate, eyes on the ground, hardly 10 past 8 and there's no one around. I've been tossing, I've been turning, baby, I've been burning, felt so unwound. I see your eyes and it's starting to pour. I'm getting soaked right through, holding open the door. Say hi baby, did you miss me? Did you wish that you were with me? No, where I'd rather be. Walk along the creek, set up on Dog Hill. If I can keep you in my life, then honey I will. Kiss you in the fog, you say so sweetly. I'm so glad you made it here and you could meet me. Meet me, meet me up on Dog Hill in the summer. Meet me, meet me up on Dog Hill in the summer. When the clouds break open, I've been praying, hoping you love me forever and we die breathing the same air. You love me forever and we die breathing the same air. Love me forever and we die breathing the same air. You love me forever and we die breathing the same air. Walk along the creek, sit up on Dog Hill. If I can keep you in my life, then honey I will. Kiss you in the fog, you say so sweetly. I'm so glad you made it here and you could meet me. Meet me, meet me up on Dog Hill in the summer.
I'm here live in the LPM Performance Studio with Andrew Montana for 50 Tunes live session. Thanks for joining me, Andrew.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So this is a local series, of course. So I really want to talk about playing music in Louisville. And you're not a Louisville native. So first I want to ask you about your life before Louisville and how you found yourself here.
Sure. So I was born in San Bernardino, California. It's about an hour east of Los Angeles, Chaparral Desert. There are buildings there, but that's the natural landscape. And my family is sort of split between California and Virginia, North Carolina. So half my family is Mexican, and they're from California. The other half is from Appalachia. And a lot of my musical influences come from the Appalachian side. Listening to bluegrass as a kid, my family would play, do these kind of family circles and gather around, and someone would pick up a banjo and a fiddle, and uncle would play the spoons, and they would, it was very influential for me.
Very cool. So how is it that you wound up here in Louisville?
My girlfriend, who's off camera, and I we met online through social media. I was in Virginia on my boat, doing things like that, fishing, hunting. And she was in Los Angeles. I went on tour to Los Angeles, and I ended up just staying with her in a very sort of parasitic manner. Just stayed at her house for like a year. And I told her, I got to get out of LA. Got to be back in the woods.
Was that were you craving more nature? Is that kind of really?
And she said, well, I know somewhere that's basically just the woods.
Yeah.
And
Kentucky.
She tricked me.
She tricked me, but kind of a good trick because now you're here, and
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
We're really happy to have you here in Louisville. What would you say is unique about playing music and making music here?
I've never been part of a more supportive scene of musicians and artists. I think that in places like LA or New York that I love, you don't have as many people who have day jobs and who are doing other things and have real work in their lives outside of music. And I think that, I guess that's not really true. I guess people in LA have day jobs.
Yeah.
famously, people in LA have day jobs.
True. I mean, I know what you mean, though. The culture of it is definitely, the focus of it is, the balance isn't the same.
Yeah, I think here you have less people trying to get famous, is my point.
Yeah.
And more people just kind of who have music in their family.
Right.
It's an important part of the culture that's not so much about being commercial or commodified.
Yeah.
And so I think for that reason, you have this community of people that just genuinely love music.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun place to make music. It's a fun place to perform music. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So something I really like about your writing style is the narrative aspect and the storytelling that is in your music. That's something that I love about lyricism in general, is when somebody can tell a good story. Is there something, or are there certain writers even, or musicians that you can think to as inspiring storytellers?
Definitely. Like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of kind of folk and bluegrass, expanded into a bunch of different genres, and my dad listened to a lot of like punk and rap and stuff like that. So I was exposed to like a whole variety of like ways of like writing songs. And I think that the thing that always felt most right to me was this sort of writing style that came from a stream of consciousness initially that was just based on how I was feeling, because I have a tendency to overthink things. And so in order to write something effectively, I kind of have to like turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And just start talking. And so music actually, like instrumental music actually provides a perfect kind of backdrop for that, because it's, the guitar, banjo, instruments like that, you can kind of get into like a trance-like state. And so I would sort of just get into the state of writing, and oftentimes, I'll write something and I won't really know what it means. It seems stupid or meaningless at first, and then I'll reflect on it. It's almost like a dream sometimes, where you reflect on it and you're like, oh, I guess that actually kind of does have a lot to do with what I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is nonsense, and you just have to scrap that.
Yeah.
So it's important to be able to tell the difference. But
it's part of the process, though, and I think
Yeah.
that's a really important thing, to trust that process and not try to force it, and allow yourself to just reach that space and see what happens.
yeah, it's just important to. I went to school and studied painting and stuff like that, because I didn't want to study art. I didn't want to study music because I worried that if I learned too many rules, it would like make me feel. And that's the main reason, is I don't understand music theory. So that's like the main reason. But then also, I was like, the rules are going to stress me out. So in doing painting, and I learned that music, like any practice, is just a practice, and you just have to do it
Absolutely.
a lot.
Absolutely.
And when you do something a lot, it becomes fluid and easy. And the more you do it, the easier it is. And the less you do it, the more uncomfortable it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that I can relate to personally on a lot of levels, even outside of creativity and just building habits, for sure. So you've been spending, or you have spent 2024, a lot of 2024, creating new music. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've been working on?
Definitely. So I have spent the last year kind of, all my previous projects were collaborations, largely. Either with someone who was like a producer, or like, an engineer / producer or something. And I always had the main voice in the production style, but I always felt like it was kind of getting lost somewhere. And so in this project, I really just wanted to have it be a project that just came from me and felt like something I had kind of control over. And so I made this project from like my bedroom, and in a very tedious way, just recording line by line by line by line, doing every instrument that I could play, I played. If I couldn't play it, I tried to write it and had someone more talented than me perform it. And so now it's come to fruition. We're at the end, getting it mastered, and I'm just beyond excited for this record. It's really
Is there a certain theme about it, or a place that you found some consistent inspiration for the songs that are on the record? Or are they just kind of a collection of more unrelated things?
You know, I'm not just saying this because she's in the room with us holding a gun at me, but my girlfriend has been a really big influence for this record. Just talking about, you know, what it's like to find stability and happiness. And it kind of, you know, like, it kind of shows a linear trajectory from, you know, when we started talking to now, a few years in. And so the other record is a totally different vibe. So the first one,
this is the one I know less about, so I'm much more interested.
Very mysterious. I've kept it that way on purpose. I've been spreading lies about it just to confuse people, you know. But so the first one I would describe as largely like folk, a little bluegrass, a little country, indie folk, those sort of genres.
Related to what we've heard from you in the past. Yeah.
The other one, I was having a bit of a, you could call it a manic episode, you could call it whatever you want, you know. But I was writing these little piano parts, and I was in the basement, and I would just spend all night composing. And I don't really, like I said, music theory doesn't make sense to me, but I would compose these songs using MIDI instruments, and came up with like 10 songs. And then, like I was saying more recently, like in the past year, I had these songs that were basically voice memos, and then a bunch of MIDI instruments. And I talked to local musician Ben Salee, and he connected me with an arranger, and then we recorded at La La Land, and like really just pulled together a small orchestra and recorded the entire record. So it's like 10 songs. Half of them are instrumental, the other half have some vocals, but largely classical.
That's exciting. Do you have a schedule in mind of when the world's going to hear these records, or still kind of putting that together?
Yeah. So the other record, I'll probably do like single, probably like 5 or 6 singles, and then drop the album in the summer. I think the other one might be, I'm considering creating like sort of an alternate personality.
Because it's so different from the other one.
And just like releasing them, like an entire, maybe do like an entire, this is all just my ideas. I haven't done this yet. But like maybe create a separate account or something, and then like promote them on there. If something takes off in its own separate way, then release it. Otherwise, just sort of follow up the folk album with the more classical album. There are probably 2 or 3 on there that have more, I think, of a mainstream sort of folky feel, and so those would probably be the singles, and I'd probably release it next fall.
Amazing. Well, it seems like you've had an extremely, a very, what's the word I'm looking for, prolific 2024, and excited to see what's coming next.
I'm excited to do something other than record in my bedroom. To perform the songs for people, for them to hear them, and to get out there.
Absolutely. Well, it seems like it's paid off now, so I'm glad about that. You have any other big plans for 2025 that we should look out for? I mean, 2 records is pretty big plans. So.
Right. I would love to go on tour. Looking at buying a horse. Need to buy land first, probably before the horse.
Yeah.
But
somewhere to put the horse.
Those are like the top, I would say those are like the top 3 things. Is the horse, the tour, and the land. So maybe the land, maybe the tour can pay for the land.
Oh, there you go. Tour, land, horse.
And then if I can like get some crops on the land, sell the crops, buy the horse.
Perfect.
Ride the horse around promoting the album. Oh, I have a plan. I have a plan to, I really want to do this. I don't know how this is going to happen. I really want to tour on horseback. So I would like to do like a barn, like a barn tour, where I go from like land to land with a guitar on my back, and I just kind of perform in barns.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've seen people do stuff like that on bikes, so I think you can totally do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Horses are, I guess, not as easy to take on freeways.
Oh, well,
generally, I think maybe a little more dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see.
they're durable.
Yeah. We'll come back to this interview and then we'll see
Follow up,
which
yeah.
of these ideas came to fruition.
Yeah, I look forward to it, though. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. And
Very grateful. I'm a big fan of WFPK.
yeah, well, we love having you here. So far, it sounded great. So excited to hear the next couple songs.
Young man, kick a little dirt, kiss your baby, say it's sweet to know ya. Pick a lot on a hill in the shade of a red begonia. Hey, needle blues, I can't quite reach the bottom of the stack. It's all buck in the glow of the headlights, clay on the rack. You can scream, scream and shout. You can live with or without. You can boast, brag and tout. Go so far with or without. But someday, baby, some way, this light's gonna go out like the moon in the morning. And I've been drenched to the bone in the pouring. Sweet baby Ruth hit a fly ball, kissed an angel. My bones feel young, my woes feel age-old. Cold spring tears on my neck, it's hell of a life. That she lives so loud and proud and dies so quiet. You can scream, scream and shout. You can live with or without. You can boast, brag and tout. Go so far with or without. But someday, baby, some way, this light's gonna go out like the moon in the morning. And I've been drenched to the bone in the pouring. This light's gonna go out like the moon in the morning. And I've been drenched to the bone in the pouring. Spells and pretty girls like true love and bathtub wine. A couple things I'm torn up thinking all I'd leave behind, because they say that I'm worthwhile. Change at the turnstile. Gotta get a flint rock to burn the liquor aisle. I want a sharpened file. I want a God to dial. I want us to die in style. And in my mind, there's a pasture full of creatures, tall grass, hairs, and southern Jesus. Sweet peaches in you. I get so angry when you act like I'm crazy, when I carve 6 red notches in my chest because I went and blew the test. But I'm angry and I'm dog-tired, I'm bound up and hog-tied. I need a brand new brain just wrapped in maple twine, hung in the kudzu vine. think he'll be just fine. Want a friend there in the blind, and in my mind there's a pasture full of preachers, tall grass hairs, and southern Jesus, sweet peaches in you. I'm at the Walmart store for nectarines and nicotine, oh, handguns and magazines and postcards, places I will never see, because I'm blinded and I'm cut down, I'm covered up and unwound. I need a brand new brain just strapped in my... And I want smile lines, I wanna feel just fine. Want a friend there in the blind. And in my mind there's a pasture full of creatures, tall grass heads, and southern Jesus, sweet peaches in you.
Thanks for watching 50 Tunes Live. To keep up with future episodes, don't forget to like and subscribe. And to connect with more music from Louisville and beyond, visit lpm.org.